I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
This is what you're supposed to do when you get out of jail. You're supposed to rub your wrist or something like that. That's what they always do when they take that. You know, I arrested a lot of people in my life, and I never seen anybody ever rub their wrists. Never, ever, 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 ever. And I'm starting to get sick too. So, I tell you, I might give it to the liberals. Global warming might be a thing because we're coming up on the 10th of December, and we've only had like 3 or 4 days of bad weather, if that. And I remember when we were little kids, we used to have snow, and you could dig forts and do all this crazy shit. So maybe global warming is a thing. I don't really care. That's the thing that I won't give them. I'm not doing anything to change it. I'll be long gone before it's a problem. It is whatever it is. But that aside, so I'm starting to get sick of my throat's going. But we are further into the year than normal, so thank God. That is a blessing, I guess. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We're back. We're back. Hey, folks. This is... I should have retired this number out. I thought about just not doing a show 570, but my OCD wouldn't allow me to do it. I just couldn't do it. So this is episode 570 of... Man, my throat is really hurting. I didn't realize that. I hadn't been talking much this afternoon, this evening. So it is what it is. Hey, I like that joke there. Joe. Yeah, 569 plus 1, or it could have been, any number of things. 570.5. I don't know. Anyway, if you're here, chances are you're probably aware of what happened. We're coming back after a couple of days of being off. We are generally not. Man, it's really kicking my ass. That's horrible. What a great show to come back to. We should have been here last night and the night before. We were here the night before. And what kills me is I was right in the middle of showing a video and I got cut off. So since I didn't get to finish that, let me go ahead and share that video here with you now. Stand by. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way. I want to show you this video of me shooting at the range. I I started to think I was going to make a video for like 10 seconds of that flag going, like the flag, and then yeah, and then I was gonna take a snippet of that video where it just shows my back, but not put that thing in my hand, and everybody'd be like, "No, what are you doing?" So here's the deal. This is the Political Spotlight. If you're here, wonderful, great. We're going to talk about some political things tonight. Some important stuff's going down, and we'll get to all of that. But this is going to be one of those shows, so just bear with me. We'll try to get through it, and we'll try to keep you all entertained and informed. That's the number one thing, for you to be entertained and entertained. Am I saying that right? Is Kate here? Entertained and informed. And we'll give you the all the best of the political news that you've missed out on for the last couple of days, if you haven't followed us on X or the other social media accounts. So for those of you that don't know, we were here. What night was it? Tonight's Tuesday. So it was Sunday night. It was our first night back. And we were a few minutes into the show, and I started to show. Here's the thing. I started to show a video that YouTube allowed me to upload as a static video. They have no issue with this. There are hundreds of thousands, if maybe not tens of hundreds of thousands, of gun tubers. They're gun tubers. They are YouTube creators that are all around guns, shooting, looking at guns, tearing guns down, doing all kinds of different things. And there's no terms of service issue with shooting. Here's what you cannot do on YouTube with weapons. You cannot sell weapons. You cannot talk about, hey, I've got this and blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. And you can't you can't work on the gun, really. You can't make modifications that would be normally okay, like putting a compressor on it or whatnot. You can't do that on the camera. I can show you a gun on a static video. I can then take it off camera or cut the camera, put a compressor on, and then show you that gun with a compressor. And that's perfectly fine. But you can't do those little things, and there's no issue with that. And so I had uploaded a video of me shooting at the range the other day. And as I have done in the past, I played a snippet of that video. The video is only a minute and 8 seconds. And so I played like 45, 50 seconds of this video where I was going to give some commentary over it. So it was a static video where I was live here in the studio doing what I'm doing now. And I've done that in the past. We've covered news shootings. We've covered police body cam videos that have included guns being shot. And I think that I've done at least a video or two of some other type of guns being shot live, and I've never had an issue with that. YouTube has as part of their terms of service, it's perfectly fine for me to go to the range and shoot and record it and come home and edit it together and put together a video and upload it as a static video, and you guys see that. What I cannot do is I cannot start my cameras. I can't start my cameras while I'm at a range and shooting my revolver, shooting one of my mini revolvers, one of my mini handguns, semi-automatic handguns, one of my rifles or shotguns. I cannot do that live. Matter of fact, their terms of service apparently say that I can't even show you a gun live. Well, I know I've done that in the past lots of times. I've done that many times. YouTube thought I was starting a revolution. Yeah. Absolutely. But if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you can count me out in. Don't you know it's going to be okay? Anyways, we're all right. I forget. Anyways, so that is, I guess, what killed me the other night. It took me down. We were still on Facebook. We were still on Rumble. We were still on X. And I was like, that's okay. I'll just get back in. And I noticed, I went through everything and it said, this is not a strike. This was not a strike. They told us, like, we think that you did this as an accident. This was just they didn't even consider it a warning. They didn't even consider it a warning. I had no health issue on YouTube. They consider it YouTube health. You're right. You're at the basic level, you're at the mid level, or you're at the advanced features. And if you're at the advanced features, you're at 100% health. And I was still at 100% health. Everything told me that I was able to upload, I was able to comment, I was able to make posts on YouTube's community section, and I was able to go live. It told me all this, except every time I tried to go live, it told me that I could not. And so I got in, we read everything. Kate started reading everything, and we started doing everything. I was emailing and talking to representatives from YouTube and the legal team and anybody and everybody that I could send questions to, asking what was going on. And so that was all of Sunday night into Monday. Of course, Monday came. We had a big day where I was supposed to live stream the Indiana State Senate. And we thought, YouTube may have us in some kind of black hole jail because they didn't put the paperwork out anywhere. This is what, it was a clandestine operation, I guess. But I said the show must go on. So this is the reason I'm talking about this so much is this is very important for people to understand this. Who knows? There could come a day you only get 3 strikes before YouTube will terminate your channel. Now, we have 0 strikes. We have no strikes. Hell, I don't even know. Maybe talking about this could get me messed up, but it's important that you guys know this. It's kind of like my religious family members used to tell my one uncle, if you ever try to find us and we're all gone because we've been raptured, you need to go to my one aunt's Bible and look in this Bible, because it'll tell you what's going on and how, what you can still do to be saved. So I'm telling you that right now. If you ever come here to YouTube and I'm just not here, there's ways that you can find me. First of all, you need to look on Facebook and Twitter. We'll post information there. But we live stream this, not just YouTube is home for right now until we can find some other better way to do it. And I appreciate YouTube, and we'll be here as long as they appreciate us. I think it has to be a respectful relationship. I think it has to be a relationship that I am respectful of their terms of service, and they need to be respectful of me and what we do here, our program and our team, and what we try to do. They need to be respectful of you guys. So if there's ever an issue and we can't go live here, the very next thing that you guys need to do, to me, in the hierarchy of our platforms, YouTube is number 1 where we're at. And it's not the best, I know it, but it is what it is. Okay, so YouTube. If YouTube is acting funky, or YouTube cuts us out, or we're gone on strike, or terminated, or whatever, next up is Twitter. Go to Twitter. Okay? Go to Twitter. And on Twitter, you can find us on Twitter. And we will be there. for you to find that. And here's where you go to that. Our Twitter and X is the same thing. Our Twitter or X link is x.com/Bilbrey Live. Okay. It would be helpful if you had Twitter, but if you go there, you can go there without having Twitter. I had a couple people watch the videos yesterday that did not have Twitter, but they watched the Twitter link. So you'll be able to watch the link. You might not be able to communicate, but you'll be able to watch it. So that's the second place to go if you ever can't find us. Okay. After Twitter, I consider the next place for you to go to be Rumble. Rumble would be the next, the third in line. So YouTube, then X or Twitter, and then Rumble. And our Rumble account is rumble.com/C/the political spotlight. Okay. And it wouldn't hurt you guys to get access to these accounts. Everyone's like, well, I don't have this. I don't have this. Well, you have to have agency in what's going on. And so maybe you go and you check there, you know what I mean? And you have to, it doesn't cost you anything to have an X account. People's like, I don't know how to use it. Don't use it. Just use it to watch the people that you like. We can go live there. We can go live on Rumble. From there, if you don't like Rumble or whatever, then I would say the very I'm not going to push it. It probably, I'll have to look and see, but I don't know. I'll have to do some thinking. From there, I would say probably, and this is what sucks, honestly, from there, if you can't find us, the next up would be our audio podcast. What people may not know is after each episode, after I do an episode, when the end outro music plays and it rolls, Kate and I sit and talk a little bit while the episode is downloading. Once we go off of our talking and she goes on her way and I go on my way, I then tear the audio from the whole video audio package on YouTube and we edit it together and we put it out as an audio podcast. And you can find that at the politicalspotlight.fireside.fm, thepoliticalspotlight.fireside.fm. That is our home page, but you can also find us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Amazon Music, and all of that stuff. So you can find it. And now you won't be able to see it, but at least you'll be able to hear it. I'm just giving you guys the bare minimum here. Okay. I'm giving, that would be the bare minimum. I'm giving you options, and that would be the bare minimum, I guess is what I'm saying. And then, of course, there's always Facebook. But remember, Facebook only keeps videos up for 30 days now. So there's no archive of videos. After 30 days, our videos are being taken down. So that kind of sucks. But Facebook would be the very last place. And I'm just telling you this because I would never have expected the other night to happen. We follow the rules here. We don't get out of line. I mean, I say what I want. I don't censor what I say here. But it's very important for people to know this because I don't want to build this and then just be like, okay, well, this company censored us for some nonsense and now it's just all over now. So it's important that you guys understand this to keep this in your mind. The last thing I'm going to say about this, and we're going to get into the show before I don't want to harp too much on all of this. We took our little break because of my voice, and I thought, well, since we were off for 2 days, we'll just go ahead and do shows like Friday and Saturday. But I think because I'm getting sick, we'll probably just take Friday and Saturday off as normal and rest, and then come back Sunday. So we'll do tonight. We'll do Wednesday. We'll do Thursday. We got a big day Thursday. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then we'll take Friday and Saturday off. So we're really only out Sunday and Monday. We're back. So we got a couple shows this week still. It's come to my attention that there have been a person or a person. I don't know who these people are. I was not told who these people are. But there have been a couple people who have been put off and or offended by something I've said. And I'm like, I say a lot of shit. What do you mean? What? I don't even know. I just want to be very clear. I try to be respectful. In the real world, if we're communicating, I do my level best to not curse in front of like mixed company. If I'm dealing with the elderly or definitely dealing with elderly or the children, I'm not gonna just be going crazy, cussing and carrying on. I try not to be like that in front of just like women that I don't know that's not okay with it. Like if I'm around Kate, I know I can say whatever I want to say. And we talk like we talk. But if I don't know you specifically, I'm going to be polite, and I am very polite. But this is my home. This is where I live. And I'm a very major, strong supporter of the First Amendment. I'm a First Amendment advocate. And there are going to be times that we talk about things on this program that every single one of you are going to disagree with. If you are lying to yourself and you say, oh, I support everything you say, you are full of shit. Because there will be something that you will disagree. If you're telling me that nobody agrees with anybody 100% of the time, nobody disagrees 100% of the time. It's somewhere in the middle of all of that. So I will make all of you mad at some point because of a view or an opinion that I take. That's okay. It's how we deal with it. I'm gonna be really honest. Tweety Bird left right after the death of Charlie Kirk because I and many others were saying it's not right to be killed for your belief. And she thought that was too extreme. Karen was gone from the program for a long time, and I kept talking to you. Like, I wish she could go back and find these because we talked about it when she was gone. And I actually went back and worked hard to find her to be like, hey, I hope you're okay. And we contacted and communicated, and she, it's not like anybody has to watch, but if I have a viewer that watches every night and all of a sudden you just drop off the face of the earth, like, I'm going to notice that. Well, Tweety Bird's one of those people. She dropped off the face of the earth, but after being mad, like, I figured she'd take a day off and then come back, but she's not come back. But the reasoning that she's not come back, I don't feel as inclined to go searching for her, because the reason she left is her mental illness, not mine. And so, I liked communicating with Tweety. She was extremely frustrating a lot of times to deal with because she's one of those people that can only see it her way. There's no, that's the problem with the world today. But, if she wants to come back, we'll treat her the same. Nothing's going to change. I won't wear kid gloves around her, but I'm not going to go searching somebody out after her display and the behavior. If she's not here, she's not here. I don't know what to say. Fuck them. It is what it is. Hey, thank you, Karen. Love you guys. Love you too. Love all of you. That's why I always say when people say like your followers or whatever, I'm like, they're friends or listeners, whatever. Anyways. So that's that. If you hear something here and it causes you to clutch your pearls and to lose respect for me, that's fine. Far better people than whoever's clutching their pearls have lost respect for me. Far better and far worse. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. If you want to watch the show, watch the show. If you don't. If you want to watch every other day, if you want to be mad and come back in 3 weeks, if you want to be mad and come back in a year, if you don't ever want to come back, I hate it, but I'm not going to change who I am or how I think about things. And when we talk about things here, I go hard for the politicians. And I will be hard on the politicians, but I don't do anything or say anything out of just total hate or meanness. I'm not like that. I'm not here to hurt someone's feelings. But we're going to say things, like, and you're going to be okay with it or you're not. That's all I can tell you. So clutch your pearls. I don't know, but you'll be fine. I promise you. I promise you, you won't. I promise you, you will not lose any sleep. And if you do, you need to go talk to a doctor because that's messed up. Okay. You hurt the worm's feelings. Oh, I'm sure. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see. If you've ever been in a love-hate relationship, you've got the right podcast. Yes, right. I cannot wait until tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in a bit. So, okay, on to the show. So, what I was going to talk about on Sunday night before we were rudely interrupted was some Muncie stuff, some Anderson stuff, and we were going to talk a little bit about what was going to happen at the state Senate. Well, because of that, because of what happened, the state Senate, of course, has met. We are further advanced, and the Muncie stuff that I was going to talk about, it's not as relevant at the moment. So I have some things going on in Muncie. Alva's been doing some work, as I said the other day, and I'm going to be looking into the work that Alva's done and doing some things with that. We'll probably talk about that either at the end of the week or the first of next week. Probably the rest of this week is going to be really focused on what's happening with the Senate. And everything that I'm talking about, all the people that I'm talking to, we're all doing the same thing. We are all essentially holding our breath and waiting for Thursday's Senate vote. There's so much crap going on, but it's all kind of on hold. The main story right now is this redistricting nonsense. Whether you're for it or you're against it, whether you don't care or whatever, it's gripped the nation. We're making national news. We're making international news. Everybody's focusing on what's going on with this Senate bill. And I'm going to tell you, I'm still 1,000% set on the Senate killing the bill Monday, or on Thursday the 11th, 2 days from now. I do not believe that the state Senate, which is made up of 50 people, I do not believe they are going to have either 26 or more votes in favor of passing or 25 votes, which would mean there would be 25 votes in favor, 25 votes against, and then the lieutenant governor, as the president of the Senate, would have to then come in and break the tie. And I don't believe either one of those scenarios will happen. If they have 26 or more votes in favor, that's a passing vote. Or if they have 25 and 25 and dummy comes in and breaks the vote, then it would pass. I don't believe either one of those things will happen. I fully believe that the Senate will kill the bill. And everybody's like, yeah, but they voted it out of committee. I knew they were going to vote it out of committee. Yes, so did I. So did I. It passed. So first and foremost, yesterday, and you can go see this if you want to watch the committee hearing yesterday. It was right at 6 hours. Thank you, The Realist. I see your comments in there, brother. It was right at 6 hours, and it went a lot longer than they thought. They had 127 people sign up to speak in favor and against. They had 127 people sign up to speak. Now, if you give me one moment, I should have had this prepared already. but I didn't because I had some other things going on. If you give me 1 second here, I can tell you what the deal is. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. Almost there. Okay. And then that means 1. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, yesterday at the Senate, they had far more people there speaking. I think on Friday or last week at the committee, the House had 43 or 44 people speak, and out of the 43 or 44 people, 2 people were in favor and everybody else was against. Well, the people who were in favor of this, they were like, "Ooh, that looks bad. That looks real bad." So what they did was they got the message out, "Hey, we need you guys to come in and speak in favor of this." And I'm going to tell you something. A lot more people came and spoke in favor yesterday. But when I mean a lot, I still only mean 19. There were only 19 people in favor. And of those 19 people, 15 were like the regular, like, establishment people that like they'll be there. They're the ones that are everywhere. They're the same people that are always there. They're the same people that show up, when Lieutenant Governor Beckwith calls, they'll be there because by God, they love him and they support him and they're going to go to the ends of the earth for him and they'll be there for him. So 172 people signed up to speak. Total. 172 people. We're going to do some math here. 127. I was dyslexic there. 127 signed up to speak. Of that 127 people, 96 people actually spoke. So 31 people signed up, but then left, or they had a couple people that signed up twice. So we don't really know. There might have been a few less than 127, but there were 127 names, and 31 people, either part of the 31 were either a couple duplicates or they just left before their name got called, and they went in the order they were received. Okay, so that means out of the 127 people signed up, 96 people actually spoke. Of the 96 people that actually spoke, 19 were for it, and 77 were against it. Okay? So, yet again, they are having an absolute blowout in the direction of the people that are against this, the Hoosiers. And I'm going to tell you, if you look at the people who are speaking for or against, first of all, what's funny is they took the people how they came, just whoever. It wasn't like we're going to do all the pro speakers and then all the against speakers. It was just first come, first serve, and you entered your name. But a whole bunch of the pro people, a bunch of the people that was there first, they got there early and they all got their names together. So what it looked like the first hour into the testimony, it looked like, there's a whole bunch of people that were there in favor of this. Well, it wasn't. There were only 19 people. They just all happened to be stacked back to back to back to back to back. They're also, out of those 19 people, 15 of them are like establishment people, okay? And I don't necessarily mean establishment in the same way that I mean establishment when I talk about the Republican leadership. I just meant these are established politicos. These are the people that when someone picks up the phone and says, hey, we need you, they're like, yes, we'll be there. There were, of course, those people on the other side too, that are there, and they're always there for causes like this. But there were a lot more just what I would consider regular people. Now, I don't always agree with these regular people, and I was on the Kendall and Casey show today, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But before my segment, Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels had Ethan Hatcher in, and they were talking to him about this, and they were talking about how they hate the fact that Ethan and Rob are on the side that they're on because they're against redistricting. I'm against redistricting. And the reason they said they hated that is because they're lumped in this. There's a lot of Democrats that happen to be, and I don't care about being lumped in, but he said that the way that they were acting, they didn't read the room. They were the ones that were like jeering and doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And they're so, instead of it just being like, hey, we're going to get up and say our piece and we're going to let everyone else get up and say their piece, they were real hate filled. And there was a lot of anger behind it. And it's like, you don't need that. You can just get up and speak. You can be mad at your elected officials, but it was like a different kind of anger. So it's kind of a really strange thing. I don't know. It gets frustrating. It's almost like you can look, when everybody got up, there's going to be people that's going to be mad about this when I say this. When the people got up at the podium to speak yesterday, I knew if the person was pro or con, if they were for or against, before they ever uttered a word. Before they ever uttered a word, I could tell you if this person was going to be speaking pro or against. And when you're saying they who, I'm just talking about citizens, just citizens. The citizens that were speaking. And so, like, I think there's something to be said for that. The fact that it wasn't like a surprise what was going to be happening. Now, in the committee hearing yesterday, how could I tell? by how the person carried themselves, by how they acted, just by body language at the podium. You know, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's talking about because some of them were black. He could tell it was no, it's not, because there were black people that were for and there were black people that were against. Had nothing to do with that. There were white people for and against. There were men that were for and against. There were women that were for and against. It had nothing to do with that. It was just a way that they carried themselves. Just it is what it is. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this. Okay. So if you remember at the last week at the House committee, the committee had, there were there were 13 committee people. Okay. 13 committee people in the House committee out of 100 representatives. Well, now we're talking about the Senate. There are only 50 state senators. There's 100 House of Representatives members, and there's 50 state senators. So this committee only had 9 committee members. There were 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And I will say that the committee, they did a pretty good job. The committee chair is Mike Gaskell. He's the senator from Madison County. And I'm not a big fan of Mike Gaskell. I think he's a knob. I think that he should be beat. I hope that he's beat. I hope somebody runs against him. Mike is a flip-flopper. He does not do anything for his constituents. He's just a complete knob. That's the only way I can say it. I have no respect for the man. And that's that. But that said, he did a pretty good job leading. Yes. I saw that, Kate. He did a pretty good job leading the committee meeting. So we're going to watch just a second of this. You can go back and watch this. This is on Twitter. Okay. And you can go back and watch this. I might download it and put it on YouTube as a static video if people are interested. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Committee members to question me about the bill and or to offer amendments. Lastly, we will take a final committee vote on the bill, either in its original form or as amended. I've allotted 4 hours for this committee hearing. And so we want to be done roughly about 5:30. We started a few minutes late, so we'll try to finish by 6. My plan is to dedicate most of that time to public testimony. Hopefully about 3 hours to public testimony and about 1 hour for committee business. Currently, we have how many people signed up to testify? We have 127 people signed up to testify. So please, I'm going to get to further decorum items here, but let's refrain from applause, jeers, boos, accolades, or outbursts of any kind, please. I'll get to that in more detail later. So basically,
thank you, Mike.
In order, if you take 127 people, if we had all of them testify, that's 254 minutes, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. And that's, of course, 240 minutes is 4 hours. So I'm going to do my best to get to everybody. If you signed up, and I would ask the folks in the hallway monitoring the kiosk to go ahead and shut it off.
So he's giving us a little bit of what he's going to do.
Jeers or if this bill would pass, when the old districts would sunset and when the new districts would take effect.
everything from school funding to workforce development to public trust. Right now, Hoosiers are being asked to accept a reality where resources for early childhood education and family support programs are shrinking.
Mr. Chairman, I implore you
There's
and
not
your
much to
committee
know, Stumblefoot.
not to give credence to such
He's
inflammatory
J.D.
rhetoric
Prescott.
and
He's
refute
Scott
the twisting and
Alexander.
distorting of the issue.
He's Kyle
The author's
Pierce.
insinuation is unfortunately in the highest
He's
tradition
just
of
another
media
one of
misdirection
them. He's
and yellow
no
journalistic muckrake.
different.
The facts show for decades.
To be fully represented. Let
Thank you
us
for your
stand in this
testimony.
moment and
Thank
not
you
for
for your
partisanship,
testimony. Your
but for
time has
principle.
expired. Please
I
step
urge you to
away from the
vote no.
microphone. Okay, are you Leon Bates? Okay, the floor is yours. Before you start, let me call out the queue. We have Chuck Blessing on deck, Yvonne Cook in the hole, and Ken Colbert in the fourth position. The floor is yours.
And protect the families from federal overreach. For these reasons, I urge you to support HB 1032.
I have major
Just
concerns.
basically some of the. Oh, look at this. Here's
We had a nationwide law that required the use of traditional criteria for
here's
redistricting.
Mr. Bop,
But I live in the real world, and we
Jim
don't have
Bop.
to
He's
do it.
a
This
hardcore
controversy,
establishment
congressional
member.
Redistricting affects the entire country. We have one set of rules.
The reason I'm
Okay, are you Kevin Krajewski?
No, I'm Guthrie Byer.
Okay, hold on. We went too far. Give me a
And in
second.
moments like this, I pray that your oath of
Thank you for your testimony.
Congressperson, there are people that we all have in our
Indiana, I saw the influx in Latino voters. By voting yes, thank you.
This guy was back.
To fill the well again.
This map will further right. I'm with Indy Action.
All right. Well,
All
bipartisan
right.
regional planning.
All right.
Representation that actually reflects who we are.
A
Hold on.
representative.
I'm looking
to
for
Indiana
someone
University worked
specific.
in Elkhart. Indiana, named so because
Barb
it was
Domer.
mostly inhabited by the Native American Indian. Today, few, if any,
Okay.
By advancing us to elect representatives.
Opinion poll released on this topic.
All right. So here's Rob Kendall's. I want you to see Rob Kendall's speech here.
Bob Kendall from Brownsburg. I urge you to reject mid-cycle redistricting. The key part of the word representative is represent. The actual job of a representative is not to be a Democrat or Republican, but represent the interests of a group of people regardless of party, geography, commerce, industry, time zones. All things that should be factored into the makeup of a congressional district to provide the best representation for all people. Our current maps do that quite well. In fact, if you look at the maps today, while slightly altered for population shifts, they look very similar to those proposed in 2010 by then Secretary of State Tom.
Catherine, these people speaking don't represent parties. These people speaking are citizens. That would be laughable if they tried to make me wear a shirt. That would be hilarious. First of all, they can't make you wear a shirt, but second of all, the people tell you that's what they're doing. They're telling you what side of this they're on. They get up and say, I'm for this or I'm against this, and here's why. So you pretty much know.
Rokita, as part of his Rethink Redistricting,
Listen to this.
designed to take politics out of the process and best and most fairly represent the people. The new maps gut the ideas of putting interests such as geography, commerce, industry, and time zones first. Numerous districts start in Indianapolis and stretch to ends of the state. In each instance, rural Indiana will pay the price, while Indianapolis will benefit. You have an opportunity to show the world what good government looks like.
Two of them,
in fact,
David.
You don't have to do anything. Just keep the maps in place as they currently are. Many of you have faced immense adversity the past few weeks, swatting, bomb threats, etc. Please reject the politics of fear. Please reject the politics of intimidation. Show the world that Indiana stands for what's right, for representation that is best for us, the people, not beholden to threats, both physical and political, from people who don't live in our state. Every public opinion poll released on this topic, including those done by Republican pollsters, shows the public is against mid-cycle redistricting. I ask you to stand with good government that is best representing all people, stand with your actual constituents, and reject this bill.
Thank you for your testimony.
Rob did a great job. I want you to
Next, we will
listen
move
to a
to
fellow
Honorable
colleague of
Congressman.
his
I believe all people are
from
children of God and
WIBC,
deserve a voice
Ethan
and a life of dignity.
Hatcher. Listen to
Therefore,
this.
I urge you
Listen
to make
to
the ethical
Ethan
choice and
Hatcher
vote no on
speak.
House Bill 1032.
Ethan did a great job.
Gina
I was
Gaunt, then Lechja Daniels, Jacob Sade,
let's see.
Carolyn Higgins.
Oh yeah, here we go.
They spilled into social media. Next thing you know, it's bomb threats, fake domestic violence calls, and swatting. Despite what the author of the
Who does it? I watched the testimony.
I do not see Berjan Crispin. We also have
gerrymandering is incompatible.
Ethan's up next. Here we go.
Just days ago, difficult.
All right, listen to
these
Ethan.
Communities to have their issues championed in Washington D.C.
Thank you for
Rob
your
is a Republican.
testimony. Next up will be Ethan Hatcher, followed by Kate Sweeney Bell, Imam Michael Sahir, and Linda Hansen. And would also, looking back up the list, if Shar Foss Egeman or Berjan Crispin did not hear your names called earlier, go ahead and make your way to the chamber if you still wish to testify. Okay, we are ready for Mr. Hatcher.
My name is Ethan Hatcher of 93 WIBC, Saturday Night on the Circle. And for my entire voting life, I've cast votes for Republicans and Libertarians. I voted for Donald Trump in 2020 and 2024. But today I stand before you vehemently opposed to mid-decade congressional redistricting plans pushed by House Republicans. A blatant power grab that I believe compromises the principles of our founding fathers. The maps unveiled just days ago seek to artificially engineer a 9-0 Republican stranglehold on our U.S. House seats by fracturing Democratic strongholds like Indianapolis and Lake County into multiple districts, which would intentionally dilute the voices of urban voters in a clear act of gerrymandering. It's not just politics, it's a calculated assault on fair representation and echoes the grievances that ignited our nation's birth. Our founding fathers rebelled against tyranny with the cry, "No taxation without representation." They envisioned a government where citizens' voices mattered and where maps are drawn not in haste to silence dissent. Recall the words in the Declaration of Independence that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Yet in this mid-decade gerrymandering, it sidesteps that sacred principle. Here we are, overtaxed as always, but with Hoosier votes gerrymandered into irrelevance. Our ballots cast, but our wills ignored. This furthermore perverts the core purpose of the House of Representatives to be the people's chamber, directly reflecting the views and the needs of citizens, not the whims of party bosses. James Madison envisioned it as a chamber where competing interests could debate and compromise, and not a fortress for one party's interests alone. Gerrymandering breeds uncompetitive districts, polarized politics, and unaccountable leaders who prioritize partisan loyalty over public service. It wastes taxpayer dollars on mid-decade redraws that erode trust in our institutions and rob citizens of fair representation. We must demand better. Independent citizen redistricting commissions, nonpartisan standards, and an end to these manipulative tactics. Our founding fathers entrusted us with this republic. If we
Thank you for your testimony. You got a lot in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he did. He got a lot in, and everything he said was right. And that's Stumblefoot. That's kind of his style. He's always one of the guys that wears like big top hats. He's a really cool dude. I like Ethan. I like Ethan a lot. If you ever get a chance to listen to his show Saturday Night on the Circle, it's like at 7 p.m. on Saturdays. He's like the weekend guy at 93.1. He's a young guy, but he's very intelligent, and I like listening to a lot of what he says. He's not a conservative so much as he's like a right-leaning conservative or right-leaning libertarian. So he's interesting. I was very interested on where he would fall on this, but I was happy to hear the reasons why he is against this and that he was against it. And so that's interesting. People have asked, because as I've talked to people, they're like, well, why don't you highlight any of the people that spoke for this? Well, first of all, I did highlight last week the 2 people that spoke in favor of redistricting. But second of all, I could highlight 1 or 2 or 3 of them. But what you heard Rob say versus what you heard Ethan say, they're very different reasons why they both feel that this should not happen. One focused on like kind of the core values of America and went back to our founding fathers, our founding documents and the Constitution. And that was Ethan's. And Rob's focused on policy and good governance and doing what is right. And that's what I noticed with some of the people on the against side. The people that were for this, the people that are for this, had like two or three different form letters, basically. We need this because Trump wants this. We need this because Democrats have done this. And we don't need this and we shouldn't do this, but because Democrats do it, we need to do it. And those are bullshit reasons. And they don't offer very much in the way of anything worth listening to. It's Democrats are doing this, so we should do it. And if we don't do it, they're going to do it. And this is the way that they've been doing it, so we need to do it. And Trump wants it. Well, to hell with all of that. That's nonsensical. That's not a good argument. And to me, I don't know how it can sway anything. Okay. The most important of this, it's all fear mongering. Yeah. That's very important. That's very important, Kate. So I was happy to see the amount of people that came out and spoke. The people that were there that were for or against. I like when people speak, even when I disagree with them, even when I make fun of them. I'm not making fun of them coming out and speaking. I want them to come out and speak. But it is what it is. Okay. Moving on. Now, we're going to now listen to just a little bit here at the end of the 9 committee members talking. And there's some very interesting things that are said.
People cannot address their grievances to a commission the way they can to their elected officials. There are a lot of people.
Okay, so there were 4 amendments put forward here. And the amendments that were put forward on this on this bill in the committee, there were 2 put forward by Democrat Fede Quadora. I can't really say his name. A Democrat from District 30. That was pretty good, actually. And the Democrat from District 29, Senator J.D. Ford. Okay, and they both put forward 2. The first one put forward by Quadora was basically an amendment that provides the Legislative Service Agency to develop initial redistricting plans for Indiana congressional districts by the Indiana legislative districts. Provides procedures for the General Assembly to review and enact plans developed by the agency, including initial steps for consideration of plans without amendment. Provides that if a third in a sequence of plans is necessary, the General Assembly may amend any plan, establishes standards for developing redistrict plans, establishes a temporary redistricting advisory committee to advise the agency regarding redistricting process, hold hearings on redistricting plans, and report to the General Assembly regarding those hearings, repeals provisions establishing redistricting commissions for congressional districts, deletes provisions that do the following, allows the General Assembly to amend congressional districts at any time other than the first regular session of the General Assembly convening immediately following the United States Census, establishes a new Indiana congressional districts, provide an expiration of the current congressional districts on the date of the 2026 general election, specify that for the purposes of the 2026 primary and general election, precincts may cross boundaries of a congressional district. and they voted that down. It failed. And give me 1 second here, and I'll tell you. It's interesting because, again, remember, there are 9 of them. There are 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and it failed. Let me tell you here. It failed. Monday. Here we go. It failed along party lines with the 2 Democrats voting in favor and the 7 Republicans. Okay. Then the next amendment that was put forward was Amendment 21. And it called for congressional redistricting standards, establishes the following requirements with respect to a proposed amendment to congressional districts. The impact on any community of interest in the current districts must be considered. The amendment may not be enacted for the purpose of favoring a political party. The amendment must establish reasonable, compact congressional districts boundaries. And that was Amendment 21, and it was voted down. And it was voted down on 4 to 5. 4 to 5. So that means the 2 Democrats voted for it, and then 2 Republicans voted for it, and the 5 other Republicans voted against it. So it failed. The next amendment put forward was Amendment 19. And Amendment 19 requires the General Assembly to hold public hearings in each current congressional district before amending or establishing congressional districts, requires the identification of each individual or organization that participated in the preparation of congressional maps or districts under consideration by the General Assembly. And this is very interesting because for the last several months, people, reporters, journalists, commentators, citizens alike, other elected officials have been asking the president, the vice president, the governor, and all of those in favor, both in the House of Representatives and the House and the state Senate, who is helping you guys do this? Who's pushing this? What's the deal besides Trump? Who's doing it? Who's behind this? What are they getting paid? How much is this costing? Who's doing it? What do they represent? What's their reasoning? What's happening here? And nobody has said shit about anything. So I like the fact that this amendment pushed for holding hearings in all 9 congressional districts, because that's normally what they do when they decide to redistrict after every 10 years after the census. This is how it would normally be done. That way, the majority of the people from those districts would have an opportunity, a better opportunity than having to drive with 24-hour notice to Indianapolis, in some cases in bad weather. So this makes sense to put something forward that says, who's doing this? Why are they doing it? What's their reasoning? Those things make sense. Political Spotlight. Kate just sent an email to... What? Kate just sent an email to TPS program titled, I Fixed It. I don't get it. What's happening?
He was talking to me. There should be a comma after Kate. Apparently he sent us an email. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be intriguing.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
He
Okay.
fixed something, so might be fun.
Okay. Yeah. I will get that in 1 second. So I wish that they would have considered this. Of course, this was put forward by the Democrats. It's not going to happen. It was voted down. Amendment 19 was voted down. Let me pull this up here and see. 19 was voted down 3-6, which is interesting because it means the 2 Democrats voted for it, but then a Republican voted for it. Interesting. The Republican that's really voting for this in all cases is State Senator Walker. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's interesting that they're getting Republican support, but it still failed 3-6. Okay, and then the last amendment put forward was Amendment 20. It goes out of order. And this is very interesting because this is something that's not being considered. Amendment 20 says that it requires each county clerk to certify to the state comptroller a report itemizing the expenditures incurred by the county for the implementation of making this happen. Requires the state comptroller to issue a warrant to the treasurer of the state, ordering the distribution from the state general fund to the county treasurer in the amount equal to the expenditures incurred. Appropriates from the general state fund a significant amount to carry out the requirements. So what this is saying is, this is like they're wanting to pass an unfunded mandate. We don't know how much this is going to cost. And the elected county clerk from Marion County stood up during the committee and voted against this, or spoke out against this. And she said, just a very, very, very minimal number is this is going to cost $1 million to implement. And that's wildly low. It's going to cost more than that. Who knows how much it's already cost. We can't get anybody to tell us how much this has cost. And until Monday, we couldn't get anybody to tell us who's been behind this, which is very, very crazy about all of this. So this Amendment 20, of course, it fails, and it failed. Let me see. I want to say that it was 20. Okay, Amendment 20 again failed 3-6. So 2 Democrats voted for it, and another Republican voted for it, and then 6 voted against it. So then that took care of the amendment portion, and then we get to the very end, where basically they can ask questions of the chair, or they were supposed to ask it of the author, Ben Schmaltz, who's for a state representative, the author, but he wasn't there, so Gaskell could answer for him. And one of the Democrats asked, "How much has this cost?" And Gaskell said, "I don't know." So we don't even know how much this has cost already. They're spending money on something that might not happen, and it's going to be such an amazing waste of money. Whether it happens or it doesn't, it's ridiculous. But we don't know that, and that's something that we should know. Okay? Next up, he was asked, what computer system was all this data taken in from? And was this new data, or did they use the same old data from the census that we've already used? And I think the answer there was, well, I don't know what computer system was used, which I think we should know that. Who's preparing this work, and that was kind of up in the air for a minute. But then they said that we're using this based on the old data. So we're going to change these districts based on the information that we already made a change back in 2021 on. It makes no damn sense. Okay? That then brings us to, in my opinion, the 2 most important questions asked. And I think they were both asked by Fede Cordora, the Democrat from District 30. And he asked number 1. He asked Gaskell, no, I think it was Ford that asked, when was the first time you looked at this map? And Gaskell said he went back and forth, and he's like, I'm trying to think, but then said pretty steadily that he first saw this map a week before it was made public. That's an interesting statement, because the author of the bill, Ben Schmaltz, testified in committee just last week that he only saw the map like maybe a couple hours before it went public. So that means, number 1, like we've known, this information has been out there. It has been there. We know that. We know it's been there longer than last Monday. So this Monday, it went to the Senate. Last Monday, on the 1st, the House reconvened. And like at 10:30, they released the maps. We've been asking about the maps since July. Now, maybe they didn't have the maps in July, but they sure as hell had the maps in the middle of November. And if Mike Gaskell is somebody that's afforded to see this before even the author of the bill saw it, what's going on? Why is that happening? And do you think if Gaskell saw the map last week, it would have sparked some questions in his head to get some answers, especially answers? No, I don't think that, because Gaskell's not somebody like that. Gaskell is only there to do what the establishment tells him to do. Gaskell, look, there's a lot of things about Trump that I like. I support Trump in so much. Gaskell took time out of this session that went way long to defend Donald Trump, saying he's a good guy. You guys just don't understand. You don't understand what he's been under. You don't understand what he's had to give up as a businessman, and he's just a heck of a guy. I don't need to hear that from a senator who's standing as the chair of the committee. That is, in my opinion, way nuts. Okay, I'm so sick of all of the political nonsense wrapped around this specific issue. It's so wild to me. Gaskell was nuts. No, Gaskell would not have done anything, because that's not how Gaskell is. The citizens of Madison County, dude, I hope you guys can find somebody to run against him. Somebody needs to run, and the people need to band together and get this guy out of office. He's not there for you. Just like Scott Alexander, just like J.D. Prescott, just like all the rest of them, Kyle Pierce, Travis Holdman, on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay? Craig Haggard, Jim Lucas. It's nonsense, okay? So that's very interesting. That's a very important question that he asked, and he answered, and he testified, and he said a week before it went public. So I've got some serious questions there that need to be asked and need to be answered, okay? But then the big question. I don't remember which one of them, but somebody asked, do you know who created the map? And it was just like he was telling you what time of day it was. Gaskell said, yeah. Sure I do. I can tell you who did that. The man that created the map was Adam Kincaid. And it's all of a sudden it's like, what? Adam Kincaid? Where did that name come from? What's the deal? Who's this? What's the deal? What the hell? Adam Kincaid? Why was that? Why if that was so easy, why has that not been able to have been answered in the last months? Why was that not able to be answered last week? Why was Gaskell able to answer it? Were they lying last week? That's nuts how quick that rolled off his tongue. People say, who's Adam Kincaid? Kate's asking it. That's crazy. Meet Adam Kincaid, the hidden hand behind the Texas GOP redistricting power grab. When it comes to redrawing America's political lines in ways that secure and expand Republican powers, especially at the expense of voters, Adam Kincaid is one of the most central yet overlooked figures. Kincaid is the executive director of the National Republican Redistricting Trust, NRRT, the GOP's chief redistricting organization. In that role, he has helped design and defend some of the most aggressive gerrymanders of the past decade, including the ongoing Texas mid-decade redistricting plan that could net up to 5 new congressional seats for the GOP. Also, Indiana's Okay. Yeah. So they paid this guy a fortune to come. No, Kate, you're wrong. He didn't come here. He didn't come here. They made that statement last week. The people been doing this are from Washington or wherever the hell this nerd lives. No, he didn't come here. He doesn't need to come here. What state am I drawing? What is this? Are the Indianians? What did they call us last week? The Indianians? They didn't even know that it's the Hoosiers. They called it the Indianans. What a joke. What an actual who is Kaiser Sose? Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm looking here at the email, Joe. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to get it pulled up. So that's it's really strange. It's really strange what was able yes. Is that thing that you sent me, is it a video or is it audio? Because it's giving me a weird thing. Kate, can you see if you can open it on your end? Because it's telling me something weird. It's making it look like it's just audio to me. Oh, yeah. See, I can't open it for some reason. Can you see if you can open that? You can't open it? I don't know, Joe. How did you... What? I don't understand what this is. Let me go to it here again. Okay, we'll see. Let me see if this works. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah. Resend it in a different file. Because that's not letting me do it. Anyway. Some very strange things happened. And here's the thing. The state senators, instead of really getting to the heat of the matter, they said, well, we have a ton more questions, but we'll just wait until Thursday. And I'm like, why are you saying that? You don't even know if it's going to pass. Of course, we knew it was going to pass committee. So let's get to the vote. Okay, that's very important. That's very important. We get to the vote, and in the vote, they take it, and it says they say that he will allow them to give reason behind their vote, and some of them do and some of them don't. Okay, we knew that Gaskell was going to be a hardcore yes. Gaskell was going to be a yes. So no issue there. Okay, that was just going to be the way it was. That he was going to be yes. For those of us that have been paying attention to this for a while now and knew who was on the committee, we knew that Gaskell would be a yes. Senator Greg Walker, which was the second ranking member, we knew he was going to be a hard no. Stacy Donato, she voted yes. Senator Greg Good, he voted yes, but he stated that he voted yes simply because he believed that this needed to go to the floor of the Senate for the full Senate to debate, discuss, and vote, and that he reserved the right, as they all do, to change his vote. And so he is not a locked-in yes. He voted just simply to let the Senate as a whole debate it. Senator Tyler Johnson voted hardcore yes all the way. We're voting. I'm hardcore. I'm voting. I'm hard for it. I'm voting today. I'm voting tomorrow. I'm voting the next day. Yes, yes, yes. Trump, Trump, Trump. All the way, all the way, all the way. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it's going on. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay, so that's the situation. Senator Linda Rogers, a Republican, voted, and she voted yes and said that she absolutely wanted to make it clear that she reserved the right to change her vote, and she would be listening to the debate on Thursday and seeing what needed to be said, but that she was not a yes vote for the bill. She was a yes vote to send it to the Senate, the full Senate, so it could be discussed, and she could possibly and might highly likely change her vote on Thursday. We then go to Daryl Schmidt, who just voted yes but gave no statement behind it. And then the two Democrats obviously voted against it. And so that's basically how that went down. Okay. I see her here. We're going to try to get it here. So that was an interesting vote. So it passed the Senate committee. It passed 6-3. So let me get up here to the vote. Six to 3. Gaskell was a yes. Stacey Donato was a yes. Greg Good was a yes, but I could change my mind. Tyler Johnson was a yes. Linda Rogers was a yes, but I could change my mind. Daryl Schmidt. Republicans, Greg Good and Linda Rogers both made those comments. The nays were Democrat J.D. Ford, Democrat Fede Cordora, and then State Senator Republican Greg Walker. The other interesting thing was Greg Walker announced before any of this was going on that he was not seeking re-election. He's up for re-election in next year's election. And he stated that he is not seeking re-election. And he stood up and in several instances made mention to the fact that he is not seeking re-election. And he won't be back. And he, he doesn't have to worry about it, because he can vote and he knows, it's not, no one's going to primary him or whatever because he's not coming back. And then right before he voted, right before the very end, he said, but then a little thought comes into my brain. Why don't you just go ahead and file? So I think he may have let us know that he might be changing his mind and he might be running. Now, one of the things that happened is he cried. He cried a lot, and I got a big problem with that because nothing that he talked about was worth crying, and it's weird. Look, I'm a crier. I don't have a problem crying if it makes sense, but I'm not going to cry over this vote. Just not going to cry over this vote. I think it's weird. I'm just very strange with that. So they voted that. The full Senate will get this bill, House Bill 1032, at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, December 11th, 2025. That's not tomorrow. That's the next day. We will be live streaming it. We'll be live on hand, and we're going to watch it all. We'll stay there. I highly expect that to take several hours. There will be no testimony from citizens. The citizens can attend, news media can attend, but it's only going to be the senators, state senators, all 50 of them, arguing, debating, talking, whatever, back and forth, asking questions, possibly offering up amendments and voting on all of that. And then at the end of the day, we will have a final vote. And I'm going to tell you right now that I think that the final vote for this is more than likely, in my mind, going to come down to a 22 senators for the bill and 28 senators against. So it's going to be 22 yays and 28 nays. And that's interesting. That's interesting because out of the Senate, out of all 50 of them, you have 40 Republicans and you have 10 Democrats. So let's just go ahead and say straight off the bat, all 10 Democrats are voting no. Okay. So that's 10. Now you need only 18 Republicans. You only need 18 Republicans to not vote for this. And we know that we've got at least one that's in the committee. Okay, so that's 11. So now we need 17. And I'm going to tell you that out of the 3 Republicans in the committee that waffled, I bet you at least 2 of them are going to vote no. So, okay, so let's just say 2 of them do, and 1 of them votes yes. So that takes us to 13. Okay, so that means now we need 15. So of the 15 Republicans that are not in that committee, I know of several that are still no votes. Okay, so I think it's going to come down to like 3 or 4 people that we don't know about. And I still believe that this vote was going to come down to a no vote, which will end up being 22 yay and 28 nays. And that's what I think is going to happen. So we'll have to watch it. I will keep posting on this because at the end of the day, Catherine's going to owe me a crisp $20 bill, or I'm going to owe Catherine a crisp $20 bill. I will win that bill and it'll be fine. And Catherine will have to eat it. I don't know. So that's that. So we'll be monitoring that. You can watch it right here starting at 1:30 on Thursday. We will be here. On Thursday, there will also be a Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting. We'll track that, but that's going to be at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Not going to be as interesting. And so that's that. The Muncie stuff I'll talk about probably the first of next week. I do want to let me get Joe's video up here. I think we were able to get this played here. Let me see. I'm going to play this. I'm going to I'm going to play this. This should be absolutely fine. I'm kind of scared that it might get us kicked off. So I'm going to do it at the very end. So stick around. And if this gets me kicked off, I do not blame Joe, and I will gladly do it. It should not. It should not at all. Let me wait. Let me go look at that thing of the terms and no, it shouldn't. It should not. So we will do it. We'll do it right here at the end. Before we do that, I do want to talk about this deal with Rob Kendall real quick, and then we'll play Joe's video. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna want to. Hey, can you put up a banner real quick that says "Stick around for Joe's video"? Really quickly while I'm doing this, so we can kill two birds with one stone instead of me typing it out. I appreciate that if you can. Sorry. Jesus, that's hilarious. We will play that in a minute. It's beautiful. So the other day, I like coming. I don't know how many of you know this or not. I talk about it a lot. I used to play. I still consider myself a drummer. I played drums from about the time I was 9 years old. I started doing a lot of stuff about that time. Got into politics. Started playing drums. I've had a blessed life. I started playing drums. Played drums in middle school, and high school, and college in a band. Played all over. Loved it. Played our cover songs, lots and lots of different cover songs, rock, blues, country, alternative rock, hard rock, all kinds of different covers. We wrote our own songs. And as a drummer, I'm not a singer. I can't sing for shit. But I was one of the band members that wrote lyrics. We recorded 4 of our own full-length albums, CDs. We sold them and had some good play with it here locally. So I like doing kind of like artistic type crap like that. And so the other day, I don't remember what. Oh yeah, I do. Let me see if I can find it on Rob's Twitter. Okay, let me go down through here. So the other day, it was after the House vote occurred. Okay. Yeah, right here we are. Okay, December 7th. Let's see, where's JD at? Okay. So, on Twitter, JD and Rob Kendall, JD Prescott, thank you, Kate, had a little bit of a spat back and forth. Because after the vote, Rob was posting to several different elected officials and just kind of taking some jabs. And he commented to he commented to JD Prescott and said kind of called him a liar or something like that. And JD's like, yeah, but I didn't lie. And let me see here. James Briggs. See, it's going to be right here. BBQ King. Okay. Kyle Pierce. Trump, think for yourself. Liz Brown. Monica Boyer. Rob Kendall. Okay, so anyways, I can't find it, but that's not a big deal. So there was this situation where they were going back and forth. And so I got on there and I was like, man, I'm going to play around. I'm going to say something about JD. I'm going to get kind of like shitty and be a little petty and be kind of, bratty. And I'm going to say something or do something stupid. And so I don't know if Brandon said Worm of Winchester. I don't know who said Worm of Winchester. I don't know if that just popped into my mind or what the deal was, but I like the, what is it, alliteration? I like the Worm of Winchester. That was cool. So then what I was going to do was I came up with, I was like, I'm going to look up and find every city or town in his district, and I'm going to come up with some negative or nasty comment about JD, and I'm going to, add it there and say all this about him. And so I did that. And okay, here it is. JD says, I never lied about either. Rob Kendall, I have been consistent on property tax reform, and I put out a press release a while back explaining why I went from a no to a yes on redistricting, which his reasoning for the no to the yes, it was a joke. He put out a statement back on November 19th, JD Prescott. JD Prescott redistricting. Statement. Okay. And here's his statement that he put out on November 19th. I want to make clear that I support strong national leadership and efforts to ensure Indiana is positioned to work effectively with the Daddy Trump's administration. I believe this redistricting effort is an important step as our nation prepares for the years ahead. That begins with maps that reflect where Hoosiers stand and give our state a meaningful voice in Washington as major decisions are made. I was initially a no because I didn't like the precedent that it would set to redraw maps mid-cycle. However, once multiple states moved ahead and changed their maps, I was like, what the hell? What the heck? That's JD. No, the political rules of engagement shifted. Even that, it's important for Indiana to not sit idly by while other states reshape representation and influence. After review, it became clear that moving forward is a responsible choice to protect our state's standing on the national stage. This effort is about the future of our country. We want it to be protected. If we want to protect our republic and make sure our national government reflects the direction our communities want, we need to get this done. Indiana must be part of that work so our state's voice remains strong and effective in the U.S. Capitol, said State Representative JD Prescott before whining to his wife and his mom, which I'm not really sure if he knows the difference, but it is what it is, okay? And it says Representative JD Prescott, Republican, Union City. It's because JD Prescott lives like on the outskirts of Union City and between Union City and Winchester, okay? District 33 is made up of Randolph County, parts of Delaware County, parts of Henry County, parts of Jay County, and Blackford County. And there are a bunch of cities and towns throughout there. And JD is, in my opinion, he's from Winchester. Winchester's the county seat. Okay, it's the main city. It's the biggest city in any of those places. Muncie is not part of JD's. There's just the very, very bottom portion of Muncie, but I don't consider JD part of Muncie part of JD's district because it's just a little small spot. So I say the biggest city there would be Winchester or Portland, but he's from Randolph County. Okay, so after all this, I said, Rob Kendall, Prescott is the worst. He is the worm of Winchester. He's a useless coward from Union City, the Lynn Liar, the Saratoga shit, the Lasantville loser, the Parker Pecker, the Ridgeville, I'll go with reject to avoid getting in trouble. He's feckless in farmland. He's morose in Modoc. He's mullish in Muncie. Prescott is the DeSoto dick. He's slimy in Selma, the Albany asshole, the Dunkirk dumbass, the Red Key, man, all these are names, Rube, the Salamone snot, the Portland pig, the Shamrock Lakes sham, the Montpelier mope. He's horrendous in Hartford City, and he's the Bluntsville bell end. The bottom line, the people of District 33 are done with him. Well, Kendall messaged me the next day and was like, dude, that worm of Winchester is pretty strong. You need to copyright it. And we were laughing back and forth and joking. He's like, I love it. I just like, he kept using it, kept saying it. Like on other posts, he would be like, ooh, the worm. He like JD would be talking and he'd be like, oh, the worm of Winchester's talking. And he commented back and he was like, dude, if you put that on a t-shirt, I would wear that. And he said that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it right now. So I made a t-shirt like last Wednesday, and I got several of them made in different sizes, and they shipped them to me, and I had them on Friday. And I sent a picture to Kendall, and I was like, hey, it's here. And he's like, look, you need to come in, bring that in, and I will take a picture of it, we'll put it up. And he was like, I'll wear it all day on the show the next day. And I was like, okay, that's a deal. He's like, come in, we can talk about this redistricting crap. We can do all of this and we can talk about it. So I was on for those of you that are new here, I go down to WIBC, either go in person, or sometimes I call from my studio and we patch it in. Once every couple of months, 3 or 4 months. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's like several times, right, bam, bam, bam. Sometimes it's a little bit in between. But Kendall and Casey's had me on the program several times over the years. And so that's something that I do frequently. And so he's like, come in, we'll talk about redistricting. We'll talk about these flip-floppers and we'll go back and forth. And so that was today. And I'm going to play that for those of you that did not get a chance to hear this. I'm going to play this for you. It's just a very brief, what? Where the hell did it go? It's a very brief segment. And so, let's see here. Okay, here we are. We're going to share this, and we're going to put it up.
PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X914 Aura Edition, and
oh, I was like, how's that on? Okay.
7574 317-659-7574. You can check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com, universalwindowsdirect.com,
bc.com.
Versed or whatever.
No.
Even Andrew Ireland came on, well, I guess it's our show, for an opinion.
Yeah, and it
lifelock.com.
Trying to get over the music. All right, here we go, ladies and
One
gentlemen.
of the most fascinating parts of this whole redistricting debacle for me is all the people who had an opinion and then very quickly had a different opinion.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, what was it that changed their mind? For example, Jim Lucas, he was a hard no. And then he went to Washington, D.C., had a little tour of the White House, came back and said, nah, I've reconsidered.
Yeah, and I think that's where it gets really frustrating, because you say, all right, whatever your opinion is, that's your opinion. And if it's well-versed or whatever. Look, even Andrew Ireland came on, well, I guess it's our show, and admitted to you, well, I guess he admitted to me too. I guess he's been on multiple times. And he just straight up said, well, it's all politics. I don't care. Like, okay, right? We know there's no changing your mind because you so hate Andre Carson. You're just.
And I agree with what Casey says here about this.
You don't care about anything other than getting rid of Andre Carter.
Well, the one thing I can appreciate about Andrew Ireland is he's been honest about it, and he's been saying that from the start.
He's never
Yeah, but
changed.
these guys
He's always said
flip.
from the front.
Especially guys like Craig Haggard, state rep of Mooresville, when he came on our show,
Pathetic.
and he tells you a definitive answer, then you change. How do you deal with that? Those guys aren't honest brokers. One of the guys who was in the Flip Club, so the Fight Club,
the
called
Flip
Club.
Right.
First rule about Flip Club is
Don't mention Flip Club.
don't mention Flip Club. Is our old pal JD Prescott, and this is twice now we've had to deal with JD on the Flipperoos because remember he screwed us on property.
Yeah.
taxes. And here to talk a little bit about that, the arch and mortal enemy of State Representative JD Prescott. He's the host of the Political Spotlight. Chris Bilbrey, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
All right, so why do you think it is these days? Let's take Prescott out of the equation for a second, then we'll get into your long-standing feud with JD Prescott is just fabulous. It's the stuff legends are made of. Why do you think so many of these guys make definitive statements and then look like complete idiots when they flip?
I cannot figure that out because the issue is they do it every time and nothing changes. And I just think that they don't care. It does not matter what they tell us because it doesn't matter. They're going to be protected. As long as they do what the establishment wants, they're going to be protected.
So why do they say anything?
Because I think that they hope that they're going to win a couple people over and then maybe nobody will pay attention or people won't follow enough or people will forget. I think that's what happens.
All right, so let's talk about JD Prescott for a second because you have brought us something that is just amazing, and I want to discuss it here in a moment. This may be my favorite thing I've ever been given on this radio program, Casey, and we'll talk about it here in a second. So Prescott, is he your rep?
He was.
What's your deal with State Representative JD Prescott? Because you guys loathe each other. What's the deal? Who hurt who first?
I was born and raised in Muncie, Indiana, which is where I live is 34, District 34. But I lived in Winchester, Randolph County for 10 years, and I actually helped JD during his first campaign.
Oh, you were friends at one point?
I would never say friends necessarily. I just was more in favor of him than the person that was running.
Okay.
And I always looked at JD as somebody that was better than the alternative at the time, but somebody that I would not support later on down the road.
Okay, so like he was the lesser of two evils.
Yep.
Right, okay. And then he became the worst of two evils.
Always, yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Quickly. Okay, so what is his deal? Because this is twice now. We had it, and you, to your fairness, you warned us about him.
Yep.
You were like, don't be friends with him. Don't say anything nice to him.
I did tell
don't
him.
buddy up with him. And we were like, no, he seems like a really earnest guy. We're going to
I
give
did
him
tell
a
them.
shot. Remember, Casey? We were like, oh, we'll give him a chance. And he straight up lied to us about property taxes. He came on the show, said I was for changing the system. They're going to fix the system. He was trying to get rid of property taxes, came to our rally and spoke. And then he voted for this abomination of a property tax bill. And then he was like, I didn't lie about anything. What's this guy's deal?
I don't know. I think what's really amazing is knowing JD in his statement.
Yeah.
He says the political rules of engagement shifted. And it's just so laughable to me because that's not a phrase or a statement that JD would say. Like, that's definitely something that someone told him to say. That's just not JD Prescott. So things
what was the quote?
The political rules of engagement shifted.
This is on the redistricting.
Yeah, he stated that on his statement from November 19th.
Sounds like something a normal person would say, Casey.
Well, the political rules of engagement have shifted. My question is on this whole thing, most people make a decision with the information they have in the moment. And then when new information becomes available, that's when they can change their mind. I mean, don't you think that that's a possibility that these people have gotten new information? We don't know what it is, but they've gotten new information which has swayed them in a different direction.
Sure, that's a very good possibility that happened, but why don't we know what that is? Why aren't they telling us what this is? From the hearings yesterday, Senator Gaskell stated that he had seen these maps a week before the author of the bill did. So there's definitely information out there that we don't know. That's my problem. Why don't we know it? They need to be telling us what this is.
If they want us to be behind it, let us know what the hell is going on. Quit playing us like fools in the dark. If you've got something that makes you all say, ooh, this is great, share it or shut up. It's not that hard.
going to be strong enough information for them to change their minds, what is it?
Yeah, Chris Bilbrey from the Political Spotlight is our guest. And you make a good point, because this is exactly what we went through with property taxes, Casey. There's a bill, there's a thing. Everybody's working on this thing. And then a couple weeks before, after all of these months, this new thing that nobody saw, oh, now it's the bill.
Yeah.
And how do you, as a member of the public, judge any of it? And then you couple it with, like, there's 3 senators on that committee who we still don't know what their opinion is. That's amazing to me. Those 3 who were like,
yeah, Jack.
Well, we'll just vote this to let everybody have a vote. But what is your opinion? Well, you'll find out Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Chris, is that it's
Bullcrap.
the total lack of transparency from these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's ridiculous, and citizens need to demand better. I don't know when that's going to be. I think we're close, but I'm not sure.
All right. So you have come bearing gifts. Now, this may be the greatest thing I've ever received on this radio show, Casey.
Wow. I find that offensive. I gave you a Rush Limbaugh book.
Well,
on
that's
you.
Yeah, he did. He does.
Now, I'm going to describe this to people. Now, so JD Prescott is he's from, for lack of a better term, he's from Winchester, Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Where is Winchester, Indiana?
Winchester, Indiana is an hour and 10 minutes northeast of here. It's the county seat of Randolph County. It's I would say the main city in his district, in District 33.
Okay. So you came up with a bunch of derogatory names for JD Prescott, and you started posting them on social media. Some of them we can't repeat on this family-oriented program, but one of them I saw was the Worm of Winchester.
Yeah.
And I messaged you and I said, that is the most amazing name I've ever heard. You need to put that on a t-shirt. And you, Chris Bilbrey, have come up with a shirt in which JD Prescott's oversized head is on the body of a worm, and it is being presented to me today to wear on this award-winning program.
Yep.
This is fabulous.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to hold this up, and maybe you can take a picture.
Yeah.
Shoot it over to me. We'll put it up at Rob M. Kendall. I'll wear this tomorrow on the program in honor of JD Prescott, State Representative Winchester, being a complete and utter backstabbing, dishonest worm. We will wear this on tomorrow's program.
Absolutely.
You know what? While we have him here, can I ask a question? This is kind of a follow-up.
Well, it's half your show. You can ask.
I'm wondering, do we know what the latest is on the union schools suing Governor Braun over the forced school closures? I remember I bring that up because that involved JD Prescott.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And it's got a lot of people fired up in the area for against both JD and Senator Scott Alexander. I just checked with someone on that the other day. They are attempting to get a court date at this time. The last big thing happened was a win for the people suing JD and the governor. And that was that basically it was so convoluted, the bill, how it was worded, it would not have allowed them spend money this school year. And so they went into that hearing several months ago, and the judge basically said, this is very hard to determine what's right here. And he ruled in their favor on one of the big asks that they were asking at the time. And now we're just kind of in a hurry up and wait period.
Okay.
So they feel confident.
So it is still an ongoing lawsuit.
Oh, very, very much so.
All right. Well, thanks for that info.
Chris Bilbrey, the Political Spotlight. That's the name of the show on YouTube. And the great T-shirt is The Worm of Winchester, JD Prescott, for lying to humanity and stabbing everyone in the back, not once, but twice. Chris Bilbrey, thank you.
And that's going to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the interview. And so we were talking and taking a couple different pictures and whatnot. And so Rob, let me see what we just got there. Hold on, stand by. Rob just texted and said, I laid out the shirt for tomorrow and I'm crying looking at it. It's still hilarious. Like he literally just texted that. as we're here watching this show. So Casey kindly took a picture of us after the segment, and we will show you this here now for the people that might not have seen this earlier. We've got this here. Here is the shirt. We'll put it up here bigly so you guys can see it all the way. So Rob says, best, how long has that thing been up? Has that thing been up forever? I just now saw that. The logo? That's crazy. Anyway, oops. Kill the logo there. Okay, so this thing says, best $10 I ever spent. Kristopher H. Bilbrey delivered my Worm of Winchester shirt today. To remind everybody what a no-good, backstabbing, flip-flopping, rotten representative, JD Prescott is. From property taxes to redistricting, you can trust an email from a Nigerian prince more than that guy. And then here's the amazing shirt, and it says the political spotlight on the breast pocket. Then it says State Representative JD Prescott, Republican District 33. It's got his head there, obviously, and it's got the body of a worm, and then in the bottom rocker it says the Worm of Winchester, which was just absolutely amazing there. And so he's going to wear it all day on the program tomorrow. So for people to tune in, you can tune in on YouTube and see him wearing it. It's like everyone's like, well, I don't understand. It's a radio show. Yeah, but they're also on YouTube, so you can get on and see it if you so choose to see it. I know it's going to piss JD off, which is what I just absolutely love, because I know that he he doesn't like that I have the platform that I have. He doesn't like, I guarantee you, he doesn't like that we're friendly and that I'm there. He does not like this. He does not like Rob. He does not like me. And all because we dare question him. All because we dare question him. Period. Just period. Just we question him. He's a state representative and he doesn't like questions. He doesn't like people calling him. He doesn't like people going to his meetings. He doesn't like being recorded. He doesn't like being pushed to be truthful. He is a worm. 1,000%. He is a spineless, weak, cowardly slime ball, and this fits perfectly. So I was very happy. We'll take the invitation to the Kendall and Casey Show anytime. Love Rob, love Casey, and I want to say, David Williams, a couple of other people have said, well, I wish he would have listened to us last year. Look, yeah, me too. And I gotta give Rob, listen, you don't do this type of stuff if you don't have an ego, if you don't have some narcissism. I've got it. I try to fight against it. I mean, I'm not like that in real life. Like, I'm the least narcissistic person, but like when I'm here doing my thing, like I'm in my element, and you know, nobody's bigger. Rob's not bigger than me. You know, Rob's got a radio show that speaks to all of Indiana and has a massive platform, and he's still not as good as I am. That's just because I'm in my element. This is my show. This is my house. You know what I mean? Everybody does that. When you listen to Rob's a braggart. Rob's got that ego. Rob, you know, a lot of people don't like that. I get it. I understand it, but it is what it is. Okay. I have very much appreciate the fact that Rob admitted on the air that we had that. Look, Rob and I had battled back and forth. And matter of fact, Casey even took some shots at me live on the show a couple of times back during the whole Micah Beckwith, JD Prescott, Don Rainwater whole ordeal, because Rob decided to back Braun. He was friends with Beckwith, and Beckwith came with his little sidecar bitch, JD Prescott. And so that's what happened. And so I disagree. Those words are too kind for him. I feel like, Joe, I feel like, that's big of Rob to do what he did. We talked before and after, and so, I get it. But look, for the people say like, I just wish he wouldn't have backed Micah or whatever. It's politics. I've backed wrong people. I backed Ridenhour. I backed JD. You're going to back people that are going to disappoint you. That's just what's going to happen. It happens. So I don't fault him for that. You know what I would fault Rob for? I would fault Rob if he was like these other sycophants that still suck up and kiss Beckwith's ass and suck up to his ass and say, "Oh, you're wonderful, you're great. I'm not, whatever." No, you know what? Rob was his friend. Rob pushed him. People were like, "Wait a minute, I don't know." I was like, "Well, we Brandon, myself, Kate, we were all like, something's wrong with this guy." And we fought with Rob about it. And there was a period of time where there was some tension. But JD was there, and the whole Don Rainwater and all that thing. I just saw the other day that Rainwater was even commenting with Rob. So, shit happens. It's politics. But you understand what goes on. And what would have been a problem is if Rob would have never understood. But I give it Rob credit because he saw something was wrong, even with somebody that he considered a really close friend. And he called him out. And they talked about this before the election. And JD's like, "Oh, yeah, that's fine. I want you to do it. That's fine." I've had lots of people do that. And Rob did it. And then Beckwith got his feelings hurt. And then he went off the rails. And so Rob holds him accountable, as he should. And so I don't hold Rob accountable for shit in the past. I respect him for how he is today and for the fact that he's like, "Look, I backed him. It was a mistake. I won't do it again." And I'm calling him out, and I'll call him out every time I do. Now, if he does something good, Rob will praise him. I would praise him. If he does something right, I'll praise him. There are things that he's done that I've been like, "Okay, that's good." Or, "Okay, I'm okay with this." But there's a lot more that I'm not. So that's just being truthful, and I appreciate that. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That's gonna do it. Yes, Board of Works meeting tomorrow. I'll be looking into that. We're gonna do some stuff with that first of next week. Tomorrow there's nothing going on major. We will be here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for episode 571, so be sure to tune in. If you haven't found us on Twitter, maybe look us up on Twitter. If you haven't found us on Rumble, look us up on Rumble. If you follow Facebook, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, do all of that. Give this show a like. If you haven't hit that like button, smash that like button. If you would, I would appreciate it. That would be so kind. Kate said she would love you to death forever if you smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know, and give us lots of money. Oh, no, she didn't say that. Wait a minute. Okay. Without further ado, before we leave here, I know it's been a long time. We've kept you on here for a very, very long time, and I apologize, but we've not been here. We've been in jail. This is like our party out. Like, I wanted to get out, get stoned, get some beers, get some chicks, and hang out with you guys. That's kind of what I thought I'd do. I've been in jail for the last 2 days. You don't know what I went through in there. It was horrible. They're like, "Don't drop the soap." I'm like, I kick the soap around, bro. I don't even pick it up. It stays on the ground. So it was hard. It was ridiculous, but we're back, and I ain't never going back. Listen, they're not going to take me alive. If they whatever, this might be it. I don't know. So I'm going to say this just as a thing. I, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, fully believe that this is 1,000% within the terms of service. I think this is hilarious. I think Joe is right. He has fixed this. It's fixed. It's the same video. It's the exact same video I played. You guys are going to get the same kick out of it. It's got the it's same deal with the FRTs, the forced reset triggers. It's me at the range. It's me doing my thing and having a lot of fun. He just made it YouTube friendly. Now, I think this is a blast. You guys are going to love it. I'm going to make a short out of it too, Joe. So thank you. And I will credit you for that on that too. But it's so hilarious, and it's hilarious to me because I could see playing this and it kill us. So if it does, you will have to watch tomorrow's episode on Twitter. So just keep that in mind. It could kill us. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, right. Stumblefoot. So here we go. I'm going to put this up on the clips. Give me a second here. This is beautiful. Have you seen it, Kate? I love it even better. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put the thank you feed up just in case this kills us. You guys take care. God bless. What we're going to do is we're going to play the video, and then right when the video's over, the show will go over. So we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully on YouTube. If not, we'll be everywhere else. You guys take care. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great night tonight. The rest of it, anyways, God bless each and every one of you. And we'll see you back here or back somewhere tomorrow at 9 p.m. for episode 571. All right, Mr. Joe, take it away. Jesus, I gotta play it again. I wish it was longer. Dude, it's not even me in the video. Watch, I love it. That is amazing. AI is so weird. That's cool. I love that guy. I wish that guy was me and everything. I wish this is me. Look, I look like a badass. That is amazing. I love it.